Okay, I purposely did not record or plan absolutely anything for this talk right now. And the reason that I did that is because I want to make sure that I am showing up present for you. As we go through every moment of our lives, we're so busy trying to get to the next thing, go on to the next thing, plan this out, figure it all out. And my personal life has been an expression and an ongoing experience of winging it in the moment. When I was 3 years old, I had an experience that made me realize that I saw the world in a different way than all the other people that were in my current life. This experience was so profound for me, and it meant something for me on so many different levels. I was watching as the world was going by, and I'm seeing that all of the people that I'm connecting with in my life, in my family, I was the only child at the time. And in my world, in my small town community of Washington, Missouri, where I was born and raised, I witnessed people being really full from their hearts, but also really repressed and distant from what needed to happen in the moment. And so there's always these opportunities in life that emerge right in the midst, right before us. In the middle of anything that's going on. It could be a relationship challenge. It could be a work challenge. It could be we walking into the coffee house. And there's this moment that if we can wake up to the infinite potential that is enfolded within this moment, we can fundamentally transform anything. And this is a testimony of my life because I've been doing this since I was born. So when I was 3, I was sitting outside on my railroad tie front yard waiting for my grandpa. Every day at 3 o'clock, around 3 o'clock, my grandpa would deliver ice cream to me on his truck route. And I'm sitting there waiting, and I'm 3 and I'm enjoying the day and I'm noticing, the crystalline sky and the beauty and the birds, and it's wonderful. And I'm just sitting there being free, and how often do we allow ourselves now as adults, right, to experience that immersion in the moment. So I'm immersed in this, honestly, days like this and moments like this are kind of like that free fall, that moment where you're so present that everything is just what it is. And the reason that I'm remembering this moment so much is because a few moments after I'm sitting there, this wounded deer, like a mother deer, comes walking up to me. She meanders and sits down and lays actually down right in front of me, legs around me. And she was covered in blood. And her intestines were, her abdomen was entirely ripped open, and she had intestines that were literally hanging out. And she was stepping on them as she was coming to lay down in front of me. And, my little 3-year-old mind, right, says, oh, yay, you've come because I can help you. Like no thought about, can I, should I be afraid of this? Those are of the mind. Those questions say, wait a minute, am I safe here? Is it really okay to do this? Yeah. None of that entered. It's like that innocent perception that we all still have within us that sees the potential, the enfolded potential in every single moment. So I put my hands on the deer, I close my eyes, and I'm just, sitting there. And I'm just at peace. There's no separation or distance between me and this deer. We're one. There was no separation between me and the sky and me and the day. Because when you're immersed in the moment of love, that's when miracles happen. So, a few moments later, I noticed actually this was a mama deer who had a baby. And this baby was kind of hiding back, behind some trees. And so as as this baby deer came and she laid down next to the mom deer as I'm still, here. And I can feel as the baby deer is getting close that the mom starts to stir a little bit. And I opened up my eyes and I saw, I was covered in blood, but there was no opening on the deer anymore. Like the whole, everything was just gone. Now, this was not my imagination. My mother, who happens to be an RN nurse, not cool, not cool for a nurse. The panic that was happening in her to witness what happened. She looks out the big picture window and she's like standing there going, if I breathe too heavy, this deer could jump up and kick her and kill her. This is dangerous. And I didn't know that she had been standing there this whole time, literally above and behind me. And as soon as the deer started to stir a little bit, she just kind of softly got up and just very quietly meandered away and was eating a few little grasses as she was walking on and very relaxed. And I was just still sitting there waiting for my grandpa to bring me an ice cream. And all of a sudden my mother comes running out the door and she, first thing she does is grab a hose, right? Full blast, turn the sprayer on and like douses me down, screaming at me, saying, don't you ever touch anything in nature like this again, especially a wild animal that could kill you. There are all kinds of diseases in blood and, you just have no idea. And so in that moment, I was like, what? That was my moment where I realized that we have a choice in every moment of our lives. We can follow our hearts and we can continue to expand with what we know to be true and that enfolded potential in the moment. Or we can go, oh my God, I shouldn't do that because this could happen or that could happen or, and I need to protect myself and I need to look good, right? I need to present this image to you in the world so that you will like me, so that I'll be okay. Or we could go back and forth between the two, which is what I think a lot of us do in life. So we go back and forth between the two. And that's okay too. It's okay, like however we do it, just to know that within us is this incredibly powerful potential. That, for instance, this is my daughter sitting over here in the audience, Isabella. And she, yay, Bella! she and I, and this is just like another example of what's possible. Bella and I were playing at a park one day. This was like 4 years ago. And we're playing with this ball, and we're like throwing it back and forth, and then this ball goes, and we'd never been to this park before. And so I didn't know that there was this 8-foot retaining wall drop. And so I'm like throwing the ball to her, and she goes running after it, and all of a sudden she disappears. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God, where is she? And I went running down as fast as I could, and she had fallen off this 8-foot retaining wall and had landed on her arm and snapped the radial head of her right arm. And by the time I got there, it was already swelling up the size of a grapefruit, a large grapefruit in her little arm, and her shoulder was completely out of the socket. And I looked at her. I knew instantly, we're going to the hospital now. And I scooped her up in my arms, brought her to the hospital, and while we're in the hospital taking x-rays, they're like, yeah, this is a pretty significant break, and this break is going to require pins, and it's going to require surgery. So what we're going to do is we're going to call the pediatric ortho doc, and we're going to see how long we need to reserve the OR, and we're going to get a few more shots that she tells us how she wants different views of this arm. So I say, okay, and Bella and I go back to our room in the emergency room, and while we're there, Bella, I just did this, it's like I just loved her. There was no distance or separation between us. I wasn't afraid. I wasn't in resistance. I wasn't going, God damn it, I failed as a mom. No, I went, I'm here to love this child right now. And when I did, it was like time collapsed, everything collapsed around us, and she passed out in my arms. About 45 minutes later, the doctor comes back and says, okay, we have it all figured out now. We need this view and this view and this view. We take her back into the x-ray room, no break. Gone. Yes, right? And see, that is what is possible for all of us all of the time. All of the time, that we don't know because we're so busy trying to figure it out, right? We are so busy trying to learn this technique, learn this tool, master this method, expand our potential in this modality. All the while, it's right here. Literally, it is enfolded within the challenge of the situation that you face every day, right? Yes, every day. And so, she never had to get this. And I actually did take her to the doctor to just make sure that everything was okay. And she was like, I have both sets of x-rays right here. And whatever you did, keep doing it. But I don't want to know about it. So there's these moments, right? And I know that all of you know what I'm talking about because it's personal. When you are touched by a tragedy or you're witnessing someone in pain, and the linear mind is going, okay, I'm going to take control of this. I got this covered. There's this other part of you inside that says, oh, yeah, there's another way. There is another way. And this way opens up and changes things fundamentally forever. It's like a lot of people, you'll hear a lot of people talking about, how you need to think in order to change your life. Well, I kind of see that the opposite way. I see that innocent perception creates your life if you allow it. And, and we're gonna not always be able to be there, and that's okay. There's moments where we're stressed and we're struggling and whatever, and then we need the support of each other. And one of the things that I feel is that I really want to say to each and every one of you in this room today is that I know the whole world is telling you that you have all this shit to learn, right? You got to figure this out. You got to know how to do this. You got to be smart and tough and a shark and everything else. But I will never insult you by telling you that I have something to teach you or that you have anything to learn. Because I feel like fundamentally, we are here to remind each other. We're not here to go, if you would just fix that shit problem you have with your attitude or, whatever it is, it's not about that. It's about unfolding that potential through our connection, through allowing us, each and every one of us, to connect at this other level, right? At this level of being where we're on ground zero together. We're at the stance of creation, co-creation together. This is what I feel like the whole world is really about right now, where we're, everybody's talking about how we're going to ascend and, all these things for 2013 and beyond. I feel like it's more about connecting as one and expanding what's possible together. Because the miracle lives in the moment, and it doesn't live anywhere else, which is why when I decided I was going to do this talk, I told myself, we're not going to rehearse anything. We're not going to get up there in front of people and say, I really want to tell you about all of this so that you can think I'm great, because I feel like it's in the being of our true presence and our authenticity that we can make that connection. And we can come alive together and we can inspire each other to expand beyond what we think is true. And sometimes that might look like, being sort of groovy, wavy, emotional. And sometimes it might look like being silent, or just being clear. Sometimes it might be feeling really sad because we've witnessed something in ourselves or in another that makes us come alive in a new way. And there's no words to speak at that level where we can just connect inside and that resonance, that heart resonance, like right now. Yeah, because you can feel it. And you can tell when somebody's coming from their heart. You can tell when somebody's coming from something that they're trying to show you that they're good enough for you or that they're wanting your approval. And we can just love that and say totally yes to that too, so that we're not creating separations of boundaries between us and others. And because this is the millionaire messenger, where people are, I feel like all of us are coming together now to say, okay, it's time to do the work of our spirit. I don't believe in the work of our soul because I see our soul and our personality as one. I see it as the work of our spirit. And our spirit is that infinite, enfolded part of us that allows new, profound, and powerful things to happen that the linear mind cannot conceive of. And the work that I am fundamentally invested in my life is bypassing the linear mind to create instantaneous, permanent change. Yes! And that's what I do. With my life, like with my daily life. That's what it is. I still don't have a name for it. And it doesn't matter, right? Because the mind wants to limit it that way. But it's okay. It's okay. It's still happening for people all around the world every single day. So I have this way of like encoding frequencies. Okay, this is really difficult to explain. But I do sessions with people. And I do what I call light infusion downloads with people. And in these sessions and light infusion downloads, what happens is I go, okay, well, maybe I could just work with somebody right now, really quickly, just to show you, okay, Zara. So like right now, I'm noticing with Zara.
A big hug.
Yes, you.
Tell them why we know each other.
Right. I know. Okay, so in this moment, I'm noticing that there is this piece that is saying, hey, I'm ready. Okay? So it is not in the personality. It doesn't exist in any thought field. It is a pattern of light and information that is held within the soul. So when I'm going in right now and I'm seeing that where this is and what it is, I'm just clearing it. And this little thing that I did just right here, what are you noticing right now?
Such joy and just such delight standing here with you.
So this looks like this experience of nothing really happens on the surface, right? But everything is happening. Can any of you feel the difference in the room right now? Can I see hands? So this is so subtle. And so when we do something like a light infusion download or a session, what I do is I work with each individual and I see those patterns of light and information that are in your soul that show themselves to me, interact, and it literally collapses your entire physiology, your beingness, and it upgrades what's possible for you in your life. So things start happening above and beyond, way beyond what we could possibly think of from our linear minds. And it's permanent and it goes on forever. So we may only even just see each other. Thank you so much.
Okay.
We may only see each other in the free YouTube videos that I offer online. People have reported fundamental transformation, permanent transformation from just experiencing these videos. But for this, because we're talking about our mission and manifesting millions in our mission, I created this program called Manifest Your Mission, Mission to Fruition. And what this is a customized light infusion download that addresses what it is that's blocking you from knowing and fully embodying your mission now. And it's a 21-day program, and it has 3 weeks of audio, so 21 days plus an encoded video that is just specific for you. So this is my offering, you can come and see me at my booth to sign up if you so choose. And I do want to thank you so much for this opportunity to hear me share this love with you. Thank you so much.